Hi, my name is Susan Wheeler, and I'm going to be going through discussion board 2, evidence-based practices. So, what are evidence-based practices? Cook and Odom from the article define evidence-based practices as practices and programs shown by high-quality research to have meaningful effects on student outcomes. EBPs have data to prove the theory that they are discussing and has an impact on an individual. What is the role of EBP in special education? EBPs are becoming more relevant within the school systems. Specifically for special education, it offers evidence based interventions to implement to improve a student's academic or behavior goals. Unfortunately, there are not many EBPs within the special education field, and it is still something that is a growing field. There are more EBPs within a general education classroom and for students without any type of disability. What is reliability? Cooper 2020 defines reliability as the consistency of measurement, specifically the extent to which repeated measurement of the same event yield the same value. Reliability is not to be confused with accuracy and validity. Reliability refers to how many times you can conduct an experiment or intervention and continue to obtain the same or similar results. So there's two types of reliability. Occurrence reliability is when the target behavior occurs in less than 75% of intervals. When this occurs, you calculate the occurrence reliability. When the target behavior occurs in more than 75% of the intervals, you calculate the occurrence reliability. This is from Alberto 2021. So, how can researchers enhance the reliability of their findings and what challenges might they face doing so? Researchers can enhance the reliability of their findings by providing adequate training to implement the practice being studied. Unfortunately, Odom and Cook discusses that a challenge that researchers face when researching for EBP is the implementation of the practice. Odom and Cook state on page 138, train and hope, as unfortunately after training, researchers cannot guarantee the practice will be implemented with fidelity. This is something that they really honed in on the article, is just talking about how a lot of times they can provide the training, but with teachers being resistant to certain change and to implementing something, we just don't know what the implementation process holds for each classroom. So how do these threats impact the interpretation and generalization of results from single case studies? In single case studies, the participant is being compared to their baseline data and their own intervention data. The threat that the implementation poses can greatly skew the data. If implementation is not being done consistently or with fidelity, the data will be skewed and impact the interpretation of the results. So, what are some strategies that researchers can employ to minimize these threats and ensure the internal validity of their studies? The article talked about implementing Heath success model. This poses the idea that efforts that stick can be simple. Also, altering the EBP to the district needs so it's more applicable to the teachers and providing professional development. One of the things that I talked about in the article was at times they'll start with a certain school and then eventually go to the whole district when implementing the EBP. However, that takes too long usually, and it does not end up in having as great of an impact as it could if they would just alter the EBP to best suit the district. And these are my references. Thank you.